This ABC15 flash briefing is sponsored by Sanderson Ford. All roads lead to Sanderson Ford.
I'm Faye Fredericks with your top stories from ABC15 Arizona. The Westbound 10 near Wilcox along the New Mexico border shut down today after a semi-truck crashed into a bridge. The truck driver died there at the scene. This is the detour that ADOT is recommending if you need to get from New Mexico to Arizona. ADOT says that there is no time frame for when those lanes will reopen. It's official. Federal Reserve hiking interest rates again for the 10th time since last March. The quarter-point increase brings the federal funds rate to its highest point in 15 years. It's part of a plan to force consumers to tighten their budgets and slow the economy to try to bring inflation down. Fed also signaling that this will not be its last rate hike. In our Impact Earth report, a first of its kind sustainable home in Phoenix that's good for the planet, too. It's designed to mimic a saguaro cactus. Homes designed using specific scientific techniques and building principles to bring the best of the outdoors inside while sealing out allergens, noise, and toxins. Architects using science and fitting in elegant design while focusing on key factors like carbon impact, energy efficiency, and air quality.
We do that in a way that moisture still moves as it should, kind of similar to how a tree would function. So really, really airtight. We then essentially have a lung system in the house that's always running.
The homes also have water-saving features, motion-activated lights, and sound-deflecting windows. Everything works together to create a system where the house controls itself and creates an eco-friendly space. Ravaged by drought, Lake Mead on the Arizona-Nevada border is exposing things hidden in the deep for decades, like this skeleton discovered by two sisters who were paddleboarding on the lake a year ago this week. It's one of 4 sets of human remains found recently because of much lower water levels.
We dug around a little bit, just kind of tried to move the sand away from the bones. It was when we saw the jawbone that's when we knew for sure this was a human.
Each discovery presenting a puzzle for investigators. Tonight at 10, how they narrowed down who the remains belong to and why these discoveries are expected to continue. Well, check this out. A flashy entrance, an important part of a good prom night, right? But one student in Washington State taking it to a whole new level. Sherman Bynum arrived at his prom this year in an actual tank. He used GoFundMe to rent it from a collector, made a few alterations to make sure the tank was street legal.
Sherman, are you happy?
Heck yeah. We're kind of tired of seeing sports cars, limousines, the average ride. But also as a teenage boy, I mean, I like tanks.
Man, his name's appropriate too. Sherman's date said she was happy to go with him if only she could ride in a car and then meet him there.
He asked me with a sign that said I'd be thankful to take you to prom with me, and it was perfect.
She did not want to sit inside of the tank. That was not something she was interested in at all.
So this was just their junior year. Sherman says next year wants to skydive into his senior prom. Fortunately for him, his mom already telling reporters that will not be happening. Ravaged by drought, Lake Mead on the Arizona-Nevada border is exposing things hidden in the deep for decades, like this skeleton discovered by two sisters who were paddleboarding on the lake a year ago this week. It's one of 4 sets of human remains found recently because of much lower water levels.
We dug around a little bit, just kind of tried to move the sand away from the bones. It was when we saw the jawbone that's when we knew for sure this was a human.
Each discovery presenting a puzzle for investigators. Tonight at 10, how they narrowed down who the remains belong to and why these discoveries are expected to continue.
Tracking your most accurate forecast, I'm meteorologist Jorge Torres. We're expecting the cool down to stick around for the next couple of days, including for your Thursday. Starting off in the morning here in the valley with temperatures in the lower 60s around 6 o'clock. Warming up gradually throughout the day into the mid 70s by midday and reaching a high of only 82 degrees, which is 8 degrees below average for this time of year. But it will be breezy throughout the day too, with winds from the west-southwest around 10 to 20 miles per hour. And the winds up in the high country and along the rim even stronger, gusting up to 45 miles per hour. Hence why a wind advisory is in effect beginning at 11 o'clock in the morning on Thursday as a result of this upper level storm system impacting California, Nevada, and potentially parts of northern Arizona with some light rain opportunities and also for part of the weekend too. Here's your 7-day forecast in the valley. Temperatures remaining in the lower 80s through at least Friday, but staying breezy through Sunday, but warming up still with highs in the upper 80s by the latter part of the weekend. And early next week, the 90s are back with lows back in the mid 60s too.
For the latest headlines, weather and traffic, head to abc15.com or download the free ABC15 mobile app.
This ABC15 flash briefing is sponsored by Sanderson Ford. All roads lead to Sanderson Ford.